Congress returns from summer recess today with a long to-do list that includes raising the debt limit and funding the federal government. But first, lawmakers will vote on an initial request for nearly $8 billion in disaster aid for victims of Hurricane Harvey. The House is set to take up that measure tomorrow, and joining me right now from Capitol Hill is House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Majority Leader, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us, Congressman.
Well, good morning, Maria.
And welcome back. You just returned from Texas, where you toured
Yes.
some of the damage. Can you tell us what you saw?
You know, I've spent the last 3 days touring the southeastern portion of Texas. Some of it is just devastated. Some of those small cities, their water towers are wiped out, the schools can't start. But the optimism that I find with each place I went to, it is amazing. They've gone through now the search and rescue portion. Now they're beginning the rebuilding of it. And I saw the best of humankind. Families would come from other states just to feed people, to provide clothing and others. And the whole community getting together and working. I would find first responders that have not been home this entire time, even though their house is underwater. The way people have given back to one another shows that we will rebuild and actually be stronger.
Well, this is obviously something that nobody expected, and this is a real devastation, and you saw it up front and up close and personal. Tell us about paying for this. The president is asking for $8 billion in relief money. Steven Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, is calling on Congress to tie the Harvey aid to raising the debt ceiling. Are you willing to do that?
Well, what the Treasury Secretary, and it's not just him saying it, Mick Mulvaney, the OMB director, the president are saying it. And it's not they're saying it just to put it out there. We have to deal with the debt ceiling regardless if Harvey even arrived in America. And now we're asking for more money to provide for FEMA so FEMA does not run out of money. So all they're looking at are the simple numbers. And if you pass the legislation, which we will do tomorrow, we go in session tonight. Wednesday morning we'll pass relief to make sure FEMA has enough money to get moving right now while the cities and counties get the estimates in so we can provide more resources as we go further in understanding of what all the problems lie forward. But you're going to hit that debt ceiling regardless. And they're afraid what Mnuchin is telling us, if you pass just a supplemental, they may not be able to put the money forward without having the debt ceiling raised. And the thing that I look for is this is an issue we're going to have regardless, so it's not one that you run away from. And really what you want to have happen, Congress has been successful in capping discretionary spending. Unfortunately, on the Senate side, we did not get health care reform done yet, which would do something about entitlements. And now we've got to move to tax to actually get the economy growing. That's the way we're going to start paying off our debt. And once we pass that budget, always Republicans have been able to do that. And our budgets actually balance in 10 years and start paying off the debt.
So you make a lot of good points, and it's really important because our viewers want to know about tax reform. I'm going to get to that in a second. So are you saying that you will be voting on a clean aid bill tomorrow? Are you going to tie it to the debt ceiling increase?
Well, Wednesday in the House, it will not be tied to anything. It'll just be the supplemental. It'll be almost $8 billion. We also have to deal with the continuing resolution later this month. That will allow us to move some money forward in there that will give FEMA some more money, almost $15 billion, to deal in the short time frame right now for Texas.
Is it true, though, that we were all worried about the funding for the border wall that the president has talked about? Now that we have this bigger pressing problem of the devastation from Harvey, that issue goes toward the end of the year. In terms of that continuing resolution, walk us through how the next couple of weeks looks in terms of the continuing resolution and the debt ceiling increase then.
We've got a lot of busy things happening here. So we have to deal with Harvey, we have the debt ceiling, we have a continuing resolution, which will be just about a 3-month continuing resolution. So you will deal with the wall a little later in the year. We have to finish off 8 more appropriation bills. We've got the budget to get done this month as well. And the budget is the beginning of tax reform because it allows us to go to reconciliation to start tax reform. Now, all that will get done this month. But for those members who get afraid and not want to tackle the tough issues, I say the sooner we do it, the stronger we are, and the more that we can get done moving forward and get to greater growth. Remember, Harvey is hit. We've got another hurricane coming. Texas, those families that have lost, our prayers are with you. Economically, Texas is hurting. Think about what an economic driver is Texas to the rest of the United States. You want to get growth going to be able to balance these budgets and actually pay down the debt.
Yeah.